in a democracy like ours, you need to be informed in order to make the kinds of decisions that you need for voting and things like that in our democracy.
Grab the stories that are most financially beneficial to them and their sponsors and people they work with, and they don't really give us news that is relevant to our society today, right now. So that really turns me off from it, and I kind of hesitate to even watch it at times. I listen to it here and then, someone will watch it at home, but it's really not a big part of my life. I pay more attention, believe it or not, to things on Facebook, to things on blogs that I read. I read a lot of Vice magazine.
Personally, I engage in news a lot through social media. So I follow my favorite publications, and then I get updates, instantaneously to my phone.
I read it on the Beacon here at FIU Student Newspaper, and I get it on my phone through apps and international news outlets and such.
The way that I learn more about the news is through social media and TV. I don't read the newspapers.
Just by watching it, seeing what's in the media, what's in society, what's going on, whether it's entertainment or, important news as well.
Why I keep up with the news, I feel it's important to be aware of local and global issues. I get it through various number of sources, either my Google News feed, through social media like Twitter, and sometimes Facebook, I guess. I don't use Facebook too much, but I do get news articles.
When Jeffrey says that he would prefer to be either a photographer or a writer or a videographer, and he doesn't like the idea of having to do everything, how do you feel about that, and how do you guys feel about that? Is it too much pressure to ask you to do everything, or is it something that you just take for granted as part of what you're being trained for?
Especially if you're a good photographer, I think you should be, out doing a project, working on just photography. I feel like when you're given, to get a written piece, to, worry about the visual element on the web page as well, you may not, or you may not get that one special picture that I think comes from like that, straightforward guidelines. Do I feel like you have to, know how to tamper with everything? Yes. I feel like you should also really engage with something that you love, so that way you can specialize in that thing. So I think you have to find something within yourself, but it's also good, and for that reason, you should tamper with everything else.
And dive into it, even if it's on your cell phone or whatever, as long as you can capture that moment. Because sometimes, news happens like this, and there is no photographer. So you have to be able to tell a story any way you can. And then you should be able to write, because writing is what makes you a journalist. And unless you want to become a photojournalist, you can craft that. But I think it's really, you should be able to do everything. And the good thing about this video, in my opinion, is the fact that they present two different individuals who believe opposite. So you can still kind of draw your own conclusions out of that.
The key question is, will a legacy media, the newspaper, exist in 20 years from now?